this was nice. This was nice. We're done with that though. We're done with that though. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? Let's go ahead and get tapped in. We are live. We are live. Today is January 22nd. Right? Yeah, today is January 22nd. It is Sunday. We're going into the last full trading week of the year. Please excuse me we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm gonna go ahead and get my display shared. Yep, we'll do it like that. And then boom, we should be able to pull up TradingView, right? Are we able to? Yep, and we're able to see TradingView. So my bad, guys. We are live. It's your guy Maverick, right? Live like Mav. Maybe, right? Live like Mav. Tapping in with you today, and we're just going to be getting into a quick market overview for the week, right? Streaming right now in the lounge. Team's a little bit late, so we'll see who taps in with us. Okay, but we just want to go ahead and do like a weekly outlook. Same thing we do every Sunday right here, 10:15 p.m. Eastern. Thinking about doing a different time, right? I know we have some people who tune in from different countries and stuff. So, yeah, by all means, you can welcome to give your suggestions as to what a good time would be for you. But yeah, man, we're just gonna get to tapping into what it is that I'm looking to expect this week. Especially, I won't be trading Tuesday because I'll be traveling. I'll be going I'm going back to the States to this Tuesday, so I won't be trading Tuesday morning. But just giving some potential zones and places that we're looking at and identifying what prices kind of doing at the time, what time prices reach a certain price, and in what way the market is kind of looking. Now, with that being said, this is, by all means, everything that is on here is not financial advice, just for general information purposes and educational purposes. So that is definitely our disclaimer, but let's go ahead and get into it, right? Starting off on the daily time frame, I want to go ahead and start off on the dollar index, right? Start off on the dollar index so we can get an idea for what the market's got going on. Clearly, you can see it's a lot of markups from last week. And I'll go ahead and sharpen into that in 1 second. But first things first, let's take a look at some of the news we have coming up this week so we can be prepared the best. At least for me, especially at my skill level, I like to know what's going on with the news. That way I can prepare for the week. So let's go ahead and go to investing.com. I'm going to change it to 3-star news, red folder news. And my bad. And we're going to go ahead and peep what we got going on. So tomorrow, Monday, so it looks like it's a holiday in Asia. Singapore is going to be closed. Hong Kong, China, South Korea. Singapore is actually I believe the third biggest center of forex trading in the world. So that's something interesting to pay attention to. And then at 12:45 p.m. on tomorrow as well at noon, right after noon, we're going to get some Euro news. It looks like we're going to have more continued holiday going into Tuesday. And we got some Euro news going down Tuesday morning, GBP news to look out for. So Euro and GBP will have some interesting to pay attention to what they got going into Tuesday. Tuesday morning session before New York session, and then we got Wednesday more Euro news, got some CAD news, light on the US dollar news, some crude oil inventories, and then we have more initial jobless claims this week. Man, it feels like they just want to throw that in there to manipulate the markets at this point, right? So we got more initial jobless claims going down this week, Thursday, and we already know how much volatility that's brought into the markets on other days, and we dropped down to 190,000 unemployment claims last week. It's projected to be starting to go back up, and I mean I think not, right? I think we gonna potentially see it come out lower again, but we'll see, right? And then GDP for the US dollar drops on Thursday as well. Previous was 3.2. They're forecasting that the GDP has gone down, right? So we're forecasting that GDP has gone down, and that unemployment is pretty much trending onto the downside. So I think that is that's interesting. So we'll see how that plays out. And then 10 a.m. on Thursday, we got new home sales going down Thursday, 10 a.m. And then Friday, of course, you got Euro news with President Lagarde. So that's some things we'll be pointing out for this week, and then U.S. dollar news on Friday as well. So Thursday and Friday looks like we'll see some excitement pop into the markets Thursday and Friday. Maybe we start off the week a little bit slower. Who knows? We'll see. But Tuesday is kind of a big day for those forex pairs, Euro and GBP. Okay. Now I'm gonna use a different dollar chart instead of deleting that one because I do like what we got going on there. Now, as far as what we're looking at on the dollar has been approaching this sell side liquidity here, lows from 2022 last May, that still have yet to be breached, but we're very much in a downtrend towards it, right? We are in an area that I would be looking to potentially see some, reversal on the dollar, and I'm sure everybody is, right? So there's a lot of people who have stop losses underneath this area. Maybe they took buys here. Maybe they took buys here. Maybe they have a sell limit set here. A sell order set here for once it breaks this area. Whatever the case is, there's definitely liquidity built up underneath this low that has not been breached in years that we're approaching. So 100% this is a target, right? 100% that's a target. And then from there, see how the dollar reacts. I'm ready for the dollar to turn up, right? Head back to the upside, but got to trade what we see going on right now. Nothing but lower lows and lower highs. Last week, we traded in a bit of a range last week for real. This was last week's candle right here, right? This was last week's candle. This was the open. And this was the close, right? A lot happened in between, right? But we just pretty much ended up staying around the same price. Like we can see, this is where last week opened. We traded higher, stayed in this BS, right? Traded a bit higher, right? We caved the high of the week up here, right? And then same day, Wednesday of last week gave us the high and low of the week. Is that not interesting to y'all? Right, we got the high and low of the week on Wednesday, and then we have on Thursday we moved a bit lower, and then Friday we kind of just consolidated, right? We shot up and then shot right back down to right below where we opened at. Okay, so the market has been very tight, right? Has been very tight. That was a very tight week, and like I said, I am looking to see the market start to turn around. However, that daily sell side gotta go. It's gonna be real. The daily sell side liquidity gotta go. So all this consolidating they did for the past 2 weeks is cool. It's cooped. All right. This is all cooped. All right, that they did for the past week. But I will say that it's time for us to start making some movement. Question is just, are we making that movement continuing to the downside, or do we take this sell side liquidity and then we trade, start trading higher? And I mean, that's what I'm willing to bet on, right? But I'm also not willing to bet against the trend of the dollar right now. So we're just kind of paying attention, being patient with what's going on. We can definitely kind of pay attention to the way that we trade below this sell side liquidity, right? Just, of course, going based off of, especially if you finish the market maker primer series, going based off the power of three, right? Just understanding that idea of how a candle develops, right? Like if this is a candlestick right here, right? If that's a candlestick right there, and this is the wick above, and this is the wick below, right? Proper price action, what we would expect is for, this is a bullish candle moving up. Hey.
Hey, really quickly, are you able to share your screen?
Oh yeah, I got y'all.
Thank you.
See, you know what I'm saying? My bad, man, my bad, right? But yeah, but if of course, if this is a bullish candle, right? If this is a bullish candle, we would, expect this to be the open of the candle, right? And we probably trade a bit higher, right? And then we'll get the low of the week, maybe on like a Tuesday or Wednesday. And then we would expect for them to trade higher and give the high of the week, maybe the same day, maybe on a Thursday, whatever the case is. And then we'll see the market go ahead and retrace to close, right, wherever it needed to close, right? Or maybe we got a crazy week and it drops down and then it, ends up trading, right, and closing here, right? But either way it goes, this would be that anatomy of the candle for it to open in a certain area, give the low, and then give the high, right? So actually going to be doing we're not going to go so in detail on bias and narrative today. However, we will have a video coming to YouTube soon from the guild on Thursday. I'm going to be doing a how to develop your bias and narrative for the guild. So we'll go ahead and record that, and we'll make that free game. Or you can go on the YouTube channel. You can click the join the guild button, and you can join the server for free and get access to that training live on Thursday. So that's going to be pretty pretty exciting, and it will kind of base what we're talking about. So the idea being that if I'm anticipating bullish sentiment on a highest time frame, right, and I'm looking at a weekly candle develop or a daily candle start to develop, then I would want to kind of see it develop in this way, right? So if I was expecting reversals on the dollar, it would look actually exactly like this, right? I would expect the market to open up the way they're opening up, right? They didn't shoot up, which is, I can respect that, right? But let me draw it for you another way, right? We maybe see the market open here, right? Drop down today, tomorrow, take sell side liquidity, right? Don't know how it's going to happen. There's all kind of fluctuations that can happen in inside of this, right? Higher highs and higher lows, right? It could do this, right? It could do this, right? I don't care. Either way it goes. The idea is that they're going to trade towards that sell side liquidity first, for example, right? And then after taking the sell side, maybe we get some permission for the market to actually go ahead and break, right? Give us a high, right? Give us the high of the week, and then see the market go ahead and whizzle out. And this could be the formation of this candle on the weekly, right? And let me go to the weekly so you can kind of, take a look at how that would look on the weekly, right? So similar, pretty much this is what I'm pointing out. However, that's primarily based on a lot of my ability, to understand advanced price structure and higher time frame models. I know, as far as we can see right now, this thing looks bearish AF, right? Very, very bearish. We're continuing to the downside. So that's just a potential if we're looking for a reversal scenario. However, the safest way to trade this, especially if you're a beginner right now, is just to be just be aware of the continued potential in the trend and wait until that move happens for real and you see the higher high given. Or if the week, we start off the week we're starting right now, and you see us come into Tuesday or Wednesday and we're actually creating a high, maybe we're retesting highs from last week and things of that nature, then maybe you kind of have an idea. We have a couple bit more weeks to go to the downside. Looking at my calendar here, we're right now on the 22nd of January. We have next week coming, and next week is going to be the 1st of February. Next Wednesday is when we're going to actually be getting the federal interest rate decisions, right? I believe that this federal interest rate decision, not only will they raise interest rates, they're going to raise interest rates aggressively because inflation has still been on the rise. As you guys see, unemployment claims are going down. They have to prepare for hyperinflation of the economy at this point, not just inflation, right? They have to prepare for, things getting a lot worse, like double worse, right? And so do we wait for that to happen, or do we highly increase the interest rates, right? So we're going to see a decision, right? The Fed has a decision to make next week, and that decision is, do we allow the economy to suffer hyperinflation and devaluation of the US dollar, which would be okay, especially if you're a crypto head. Very soon, they could just say, forget it. Let's just keep hyperinflating the economy because we're going to get rid of the US dollar anyway. But I'm just going to be honest, that's very impulsive, and you can't be impulsive when running a nation. It has that. I would expect it to be take a little bit more time for them to just allow the dollar to hyperinflate. So my personal opinion is that they won't allow the dollar to just continue to inflate at an astronomical level, and you see the dollar surpass highs that we haven't seen in decades, right? But I think what we'll see is they raise the interest rates and force the country into a recession. You'll see the gas prices go up astronomically. You'll see the price of your eggs continue to go up astronomically. You'll continue to see the price of everything go up, housing, everything, guys. It's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better. And so just looking at my other dollar chart that shows me more history, right? You can actually see the last high was from 9/11. That was the highest, place that we had the dollar at versus where we're at right now. Right now, we're at the highest place we just fell from the highest high, right, on the dollar since 9/11. Think about that, right? How dire does the situation have to be for us to be moving this way? You feel me? And essentially attacking a high, because if you really pay attention, right? If you really pay attention to this overall time frame that I got going here, you know what? It's okay. I'm gonna wipe this. All right. If you really pay attention to this high from 9/11, there's no other swing high on the monthly between that high and where we are right now. And if you guys have been studying, you understand that the last high was this buy side liquidity here on the monthly that we closed above, right? We closed above that buy side liquidity, right? We closed above it. Now we're retesting that buy side liquidity. And if we're retesting that and we've closed above it, that means that we still have more to go, right? So this buy side is the next place that the dollar would have to go before I'm anticipating for them to drop, right? There are positions above here that have been held since 9/11, guys. There are hedge funds, banks, institutions that these market makers would love to target that have, plenty of money for them to liquidate, right? And this is that target. And just this price action is, if you've been studying, I'm just gonna be honest, this price action is just not, there's just nothing. I mean, the only thing in between this price action is time, because we're on the monthly time frame. But just understand, this was our higher high. We closed above buy side liquidity. The retracement phase is happening right now, because overall this is still an uptrend. If we close with a higher low, and in a retracement phase, I'm looking for the market to come back into fair value gaps, right, and areas of and liquidity voids, right? And guess where we're heading to right now? Fair value gap, right? This is the one that catches my attention, right? This fair value gap, because fair value gaps only matter with context. What are the odds that we've broken above this high? We're pulling back on a retest. Out of this range right here on the monthly time frame, we just slipped underneath equilibrium, guys. Like, it's a lot of confirmation. And then when I go to the daily time frame, like I already pointed out to you guys, the top of this box, the top of this fair value gap just so happens to be where sell side liquidity is located on the daily time frame. Okay, so it's either you're gonna get ready or you're not gonna be ready. I don't know how else to put it. Right, and so this zone is a very, very key level. At the same time that you're telling me that in a week from now we're gonna get the Fed interest rate decision that could astronomically push the dollar higher. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, guys. I believe in coincidences, but I'm not stupid. All right. Make sure that we're good on the recording as well. Yeah, we Gucci, right? But I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that is what my overall analysis is on the dollar. Again, same thing I've been saying all January, but now times are changing. I've been telling y'all, man, you've been trading in this market in November, December, January time. You've been trading in some of the hardest market conditions in a market that's already hard to trade in, right? So understand that we're about to go into, February. First quarter is about to really start, and we're trading into this type of trend. I'm thinking we expand all first quarter, right? If we get bullishness out of here, oh man, yeah, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, until we breach that area and start to see some break of structure on a lower time frame, though, bearish, right? Bearish, right? It could take us all week to get down here, or it could happen tonight. Who knows, right? But my idea is, let's look to get into this area and look for potential turnarounds in that area and extreme volatility, especially heading into that interest rate decision next week. Maybe we get a spike higher, and then the rest of the week trades lower, so that we're in position to create higher highs and higher lows going into the interest rate decision. That monthly buy side liquidity does not look safe at all. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. So yeah, that's what we kind of got going on the dollar. Definitely would pay attention to this gap. I promise you that gap is going to get taken back within the next 24 hours. So seeing them trade back into that would be fire, right? That would be right at equilibrium, right? Right at equilibrium for the range that we're in right now. So just seeing us trade back up into that would tell me a bit, and then seeing us trade from there down to this sell side liquidity, especially seeing as we've just closed below this, sell side over here, right? So right now, the most recent would be the bottom of this wick. So yeah, that's what I got going on dollar. I mean, I feel like it's very not self-explanatory, but it ain't much. It ain't much to it. You feel me? Especially with with us coming out of this range the way that we are. What I do want to pay attention to in this range, though, it's a similar setup to what I traded on NAS on Friday, and I'll go ahead and show you guys. I've healed from what happened. I've healed, but at the end of the day, the idea is that when we're trading in a consolidation, I want to look for these order blocks that get formed before an expansion out, and then I want to see the market trade back into those order blocks, right? And it just so happens that that gap that I just showed you is at the bottom of an 8-hour order block, right? Or just the bottom of that order block in general, okay? So yeah, this is that level that I'll pay attention to, seeing how the dollar comes back to and responds from there. But I think that should be our jumping board to literally just dive towards that sell side liquidity. And if you're in position to take advantage of that on these indices and gold and things of that nature, these other pairs, you'll be able to eat early this week so that you can be out the BS by the end of the week. And that's my plan. I would love to get some good positions in even tomorrow if the market allows. The only reason that I'm not super expectant maybe of that tomorrow, maybe on like something like NAS, is because you can see on NAS we had a very big day on Friday, and typically after a big Friday you'll get a slower Monday. However, it does not have to do that. Okay, it does not have to care about that. Here was a big Friday right here, and then here was a Monday after, which even that was a massive trade. Like that was a massive range that it traded up to, but it was a small candle, right? It was a small range on that close high, open and close level. But then you can see the next day, massive momentum upwards, right? So we had that retracement last week, and then Friday closed out with massive movement upwards. Now, I was a little bit saddened, okay, because I did see us trade lower this entire week, and Thursday saw us give the low of the week, right? On NAS, Thursday gave the low of the week last week, and I kind of had noticed that, especially because they had traded back into what? Order block, right? Mitigation candle. They traded right back to that on the daily, and then they were trading away from it, okay, going into Friday. So when I looked at my charts on Friday, all right, I saw that the market after hitting that level and pulling back, I saw that we consolidated, right? We consolidated, and then we had the break out of that consolidation, all right? And after we traded back into that consolidation, it was around 8 a.m. when I was on the trading floor, and I saw us trading back into this consolidation at 8 a.m. So guess what my target was? The order block, right? If I look at the hourly time frame, this is that order block, okay? This one right here, this black candle, right? That's the order block. And I framed my entry around getting in at that order block. So once I had that idea, I went down to the lower time frames, right? I went down to the lower time frame, and we can, for now, I don't want to delete this because I want you guys to see how it did me. But went down to the lower time frame, 15-minute time frame, and my entry was the 5-minute. My entry was based on this fair value gap here, right? This is where my entry was based. Also, remember, I was looking at this trade around 8:55-ish, 8:45, and the market had traded from the low where they traded into that daily order block all the way up to this high, and I wanted to see them trade into this discount classic Maverick special. You know what I'm saying? Wanted to see them trade into that discount area and then a take off from there. I forgot we had 10 a.m. news and I was trading a pending order because I had to go look at some houses out here. So I put in the pending order, and of course I wanted to be Sniper Gonzalez and have my stop loss below the low, even though these are clearly double bottoms, right? Definitely should have gave this thing at least 20 pips to breathe, and I say 20 pips because that would have been halfway into this impulse candle that gave us this leg up, right? Halfway, like half of that candle and right below it would have been 20 pips, and this still would have been a 1 to 6 trade for the setup I was looking for, and ended up going above weekly open for over a 1 to 13, right? 1 to 13 setup. Could have risked 20 pips and still got that, but no, I wanted to be Sniper Gonzalez. I wanted the 1 to 20 setup, so I take full responsibility. It's all right. It's cool. But with that being said, I think the dollar still has more to go. And just conveniently, right, as the dollar has a daily sell side liquidity to trade to, the high of last week, which was here last Wednesday, is our daily buy side liquidity to trade to on NASDAQ. Okay, so I'm very confident in buys on NAS going into the beginning of the week. I won't be taking any sales. I'll be primarily looking for buy opportunities at the beginning of the week until this buy side liquidity is taken. If we take this buy side liquidity and close below it, I'm ready to sell the mess out of NAS going into Wednesday and Thursday. I'm just being real with you. And the dollar sets up the same way. Yeah, I'm selling the mess out that thing. If not, and we actually close above it and say the dollar continues bearish, then of course, now this becomes my target on NASDAQ, and I'll continue in buys from there, right? But at the end of the day, I am grateful to be in this expansionary state with NAS. Now, if we just open up Monday and we just literally wick buy side from the top of the week, I'll have to reanalyze, of course. But based off of just how I'm feeling right now, and how the market traded down into this order block, like I said, on the daily time frame, right? We traded into this mitigation level, traded into that order block, traded away from it, gave a higher high here, right? Gave a higher high candle. I think we trade back into this, and then I go ahead and see them take that buy side liquidity, even if it's just this buy side. That's what I'm confident in right now. Higher high, higher low. We've already shifted into an uptrend. So just looking to continue participating with that trend. Now, retracement, I want to pay attention to a liquidity void with this retracement action that's going on right now. So the two places that catch my attention is, of course, we got this order block right here and this impulse move, which used to be a previous high right here, right? Oh no. Okay, yeah, like this was a previous high in the past, right? So seeing them trade into that, I'll be paying attention. Let me delete this weekly open. I'll be paying attention to how we actually go ahead and react in that area, and that would also be the top of that old discount we talked about. Now, you can see where I have this though, right? And that's because, just to be transparent, I mean, that's where I'm looking to. That's my ideal placement, okay? For a few different reasons. In the past, this over here was double tops. There was double tops there, a nice fair value gap above, right? So this was previous area of resistance. And what are the odds that we created a fair value gap here? We had double tops right here that created liquidity up here. And right over here, right, when the market took off, we also created a fair value gap right there in that same exact area. Okay, now again, we did already trade down into that at 1 p.m., just wicked into that, and they used that to take off. But I would love to see us trade into the bottom of that fair value gap, trade back into that order block. But like I said, I am going to be aware as to what time the market trades back into this area, right? If we were to trade back into an area like this, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, yeah, I'll be ready to take buys earlier. I'll be okay with that. I'll look for that structure happening. Excuse me. But for the most part, I would like to see us trade, lower into here. And if I go ahead and throw my fib on my move that I wanted from the low here, right? From the low to the high, this area is that 62 and 71% retracement. that I would want to look for. Okay, so that's another reason that I'm specifically targeting that area. If somebody wanted to call me on it, I mean, you could go all the way to the low if you wanted to. I don't think that's really necessary though, because after coming to this low, they traded higher to this high and then came back into the discount of this low. And then from there, they went ahead and took off and go up there. So at the me personally, like the way I like to use my fibs is that if we already traded into, this discount in the past here, boom, and they took off from there to come up here, then now I want to go from that new swing point, which was down here. And that's just me. I'm not like saying, that's just from the way that I viewed the market and what's worked for me. So that's how I kind of am looking at it. And even then, it shows a lot lower than what I'm offering. But I'm just paying attention. And will I take this trade with a 70 point stop? Most likely not. You guys know how I am. This is my zone though, and when I'm here live tomorrow or Wednesday, if we're participating into my zone, I'll look for lower time frame setups that I can shorten my stops for and my risk on. But that's what I'm looking for going into this week with Nas. See us trade back, especially after coming into where we're at right now. See us trade back down into this level, these levels, and catch more buys up into this buy side liquidity here. And I think it's a pretty simple explanation on Nas. Of course, US30, her cousin, similar vibes, right? You can see US30 actually has a triple top up here at the same place where that daily buy side liquidity or hourly buy side liquidity is, right? Triple top. Okay, so you can just, tell me you're suspicious without telling me you're suspicious, and that's how you do it. That's very suspicious level, very clean level. That clean level is gone, and I'm not gonna lie, I would love sells from in here, right? But for right now, let's trade what we can get, and I would love to catch buys up into that area. You know what I'm saying? So that's US30, NAS, SPX 500. Looking at gold, gold is golden. Gold is golden. That's a nice little phrase right there. Gold is golden. We got QB in here. She know, you know what I'm saying? T-Beck in here too. But at the end of the day, interesting thing about gold is that there's really nothing in between gold and the previous high that we formed back in April. So I'm almost wouldn't be surprised to see gold take the high. They just have been on a rampage. There just doesn't look like there's anything to stop it for real. Like look at this on the weekly time frame. Yes, I see her collapsing soon, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them throw a wick up there before, just to be petty, throw a wick up there before they drop off. So we'll see. But I'm personally, I have no. I'm letting gold show me what's up, right? I would like the sells on gold, so I'll just wait for her to give that setup and give that pattern on an hourly, on a 4 hour for the sell, and you'll hear me talk a lot bit more. But I can't call the top on it, and I also just don't want to be continuing to bet on gold buys. I'm just good, I'm kind of good. So that's my thing about gold right now. Of course, if anybody has anything, like drop it in the comments or head over to the forum and share with me so I can see what you see. But yeah, that's my thing about gold. I definitely think we're in a prime position for a turnaround on gold. We're in a fair value gap. I can't remember what time frame this is, but again, it's not even about the fair value gap, right? The fair value gap only matters alongside certain information, and as of the right now, the information that I see is that we should be taking the buy side. It just not really doesn't really make sense for them to work this hard to come this high and then leave that intact. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for anything on gold, maybe you can use that to maybe look for some potential buy entries that you're able to trade into, or some counter trend. You just kind of get the idea of what I'm breaking down and you still catch the sells on it. That's cool. Do your thing, pimping. Right, but that's pretty much how I'm feeling about DXY, NAS, gold, and then naturally, based off what I said about DXY continuing to drop before we move higher, I'm looking to see these majors continue to rise before they move lower. Right, Euro USD just went ahead and closed above this buy side liquidity on the 4 hour, and on the daily, we're trading strongly above that. So yeah, going into tomorrow, I would definitely, or going into this week, just looking for these opportunities to buy into Euro at USD for these continuations, man. Whether it's in that area, that fair value gap there, or maybe if you are patient, you run your fibs from the high to the low, wherever that high is going to be at. But you can kind of see that the below equilibrium, as of what we've done so far, is kind of down in this level here. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'll be paying attention for. Like I said, I'm bullish on Euro USD and GU until the dollar breaks that sell side liquidity. So I think those are great places to participate. I wouldn't want to participate in Euro unless we traded down back below that level. Um, but other than that, I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to be patient. Remember, we got Euro USD news dropping on Tuesday, right? Same thing with GU, right? We got GU news dropping on Tuesday. Same thing with GU. Very bullish. All right, GU is very bullish. We're in an area, though. Again, it's a lot of, we're in an area because we are, right? We're in an area where I was looking for, and I have been looking for potential reversals on GU. Right now, they're attacking this daily buy side liquidity. So let's watch and see, right? Do they wick this, right, as they are right now and start trading lower? Or do we, go ahead and wick this, give a higher low, and then take that and close above it, right? Just to go along with that bias on the dollar. But I'm gonna just be honest, like, the dollar can go ahead and wick that sell side, like I drew the candles for y'all. They could wick that sell side. This thing could wick that buy side, and we'll see them start to price lower. So I would say for Euro USD and as well as for GU, I'm really focused on trading stock indexes on a daily basis, like NAS and things like that. So specifically NAS on a day-to-day basis or on an intraday basis. When it comes to these, forex pairs and gold and stuff like that, I want to trade them in just honestly. I mean, I want to trade everything in the highest probability situations. But when it comes to these, I want to also trade these in the highest volatility situations. So not necessarily saying I'll trade right when news happens, but the days that news is happening, especially anything that's not like non-farm payroll, FOMC, things that are highly marketed, those I'm willing to trade at the execution. But anything highly marketed, I want to wait till the bodies fall. Then I'll participate in those markets, right? UJ, similar story as the dollar, right? I want to see her continue to take these lows here, right? These lows still have not been taken. And from here, there's nothing in between where price is. This is a lower low. This is a lower high. In between this right here, this price action, these lows is nothing. Okay, so I want to see them go ahead and trade below that on UJ. And then, of course, I would love to start seeing some bullishness up out of this area. But again, I'm not going to try and predict that far in advance. We're just going to leave it at, for right now, let's aim for this sell side liquidity. If you can find some moves in that, by all means, find some moves in that. But if not, of course, you could just wait for that to happen. Start looking for the buys back up to the other side, right? So yeah, that's how I'm kind of feeling, guys. I ain't want this market outlook to be too long on this one. Just wanted to kind of give that, those ideas and that bias. Highly recommend that if y'all want to work on, framing your narrative and framing your bias. Because I'm just gonna be honest, Michael says it all the time, bro. Like, entry is the least important part of a profitable trading career. It's like people who focus on entries all the time. There's plenty of people who got great entries, but they don't make money. They don't withdraw. And here in the Traders Guild, really focusing on developing people who withdraw, A, B, amazing money managers, because amazing money managers withdraw, and amazing data analysts, because data analysts withdraw, right? And so at the end of the day, we definitely want to be moving with that intention of understanding how to frame your narrative and how to frame your bias versus just focusing so much on just the price action or the indicators or whatever the case is. And I think that's something that really helps with that on ICT's page, ICT's mentorship page. He has a playlist called the Market Maker Primer. You know what I'm saying? So you can actually go on there. You can watch that. It's free on his YouTube page, the Market Maker Primer, and it will really help you when it comes to framing your bias and your narrative overall, right? It's right here, Market Maker Primer, and you can check that out. You feel me? And I think that'll help you out if you're looking to work on that. Just watch it through it a couple times and work on that. Other than that, only other highlight I would say is just really focus on journaling a lot. I'm just gonna be honest. All the ICT students that I study who are very, successful, all the traders all the athletes, anybody honestly that I study that's very successful, they journal. You know, because you're gonna keep making the same mistakes if you don't journal. You're gonna keep having the same fears if you don't journal, because it's almost like you forget about it. You know, so you want to journal it, you want to log it, so that you can actually go ahead and apply the best way. And shout out to my brother T-Beck again, man. I appreciate you, bro. All right, but shout out to him again. He dropped in the forum, in the trading and investing forum. He dropped how to do a trading. He dropped a trading journal and logging template, right? So for those of y'all who's on YouTube, by all means, you could definitely go ahead and check out the click. You could join the guild for free on the under this video. You can click the join the guild button or do it on the channel. And for anybody who y'all in here right now, y'all checking this out with me, like go ahead and you can use this template, right? What's the date? What time did you wake up? What time did you place your first trade? How did you feel during the sessions? How many pips did you catch? What setup did you see? And then log briefly explaining the scenario. What did you do correct? What mistakes did you make? What emotions did you have before the trade, right? These are all different things that you can actually go ahead and implement, whether it's in the forum, whether it's on your own document or spreadsheet, whatever the case is. You want to go, and whether it's in a notebook, you want to do this. And I promise you, journaling and back testing are going to be your number one teachers. Not me, not ICT, none of that. Back testing and journaling will be your number one teachers. Now, using somebody like myself or somebody like, Michael, or using somebody like, a mentor or a coach, it can definitely help speed up your progress. But at the end of the day, you don't want to replace your need for yourself with the need of a mentor, right? A mentor should make what you have already better. And if you don't have anything already, then it's going to be very difficult for a mentor to, make up for that, right? So you want to use the mentor, yes, but in conjunction with a more use of yourself, right? So like I said, we're looking to see dollar go ahead and trade lower. Take that sell side liquidity on the daily time frame. Once we take that, all gloves come off. Let's go ahead and see how it responds. And so with that being said, like I said, NASDAQ looking for those buy opportunities this week to get above that buy side liquidity. And then we'll go ahead and respond to the market based on how that happens. You feel me? So with that being said, we will be live this week Tuesday. I won't be on the trading floor Tuesday because I have a flight, but Wednesday and Thursday and Friday I'll be in the trading floor New York session 8:15 a.m. Like I said, on Thursday at 8 p.m. we have the how to frame your buys and how to set up a narrative call at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then we got stocks and investing 101 on Friday at 8 p.m. with T-Beck as well. So definitely look forward to tapping in with y'all. And really getting that value and sharpening the community so y'all can make me better. Y'all can make us better. Because at the end of the day, iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. If I teach you something or remind you something, or if we teach you something or remind you of something, you take that, you make it better, and you just give it back. You teach us, you put us onto something, you make some money yourself, you learn something. So that's what this is all about, But with that being said, I appreciate y'all. And definitely excited to hop on New York session tomorrow. I'll actually do a New York session tomorrow in the lounge in the guild. So anybody, whether you're a guest or whether you're part of your private community or just the public community in the free server, you'll have access to that, and we'll go ahead and get it popping top of the week. Because like I said, I kind of want the market to start shifting a bit, so I can have more of a entries, right? A place, a zone, a numbers, things like that. But yeah, appreciate you guys, and let's have an amazing trading week.